Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right. Welcome to Think Big. Our guest today, Leonardo Steenkamp. Leonardo, tell us where you are in the world and what you do for a living.
Hi, Effie. So my name is Leonardo Steenkamp. I'm based in South Africa, in Kimberley, where diamonds were found firstly in South Africa. So most of the diamonds in the world that you can have that's from Kimberley is from South Africa, where I'm from. I'm 28 years old. I do custom-made jewelry pieces, so it's in line with what my city has to offer to people outside there. So what we do is we do custom-made jewelry, mainly diamond jewelry pieces. What we're trying to bring back into our industry and into our communities is that in South Africa, not many people understand the mineral. So usually the mineral leaves the country and it's being produced outside, and then we are they basically resell the minerals to us in jewelry pieces form. So we would like to be a step ahead and give that to the communities at first hand, to say, look, this is your jewelry pieces, this is the value that it goes for. These are the pieces that will be applicable to you and to your family. You can make these pieces not only for yourself, but you can make it as an inherited piece. So that's what we're trying to bring to the community as well. Yeah.
That's amazing. So how did you get into this space originally? I mean, I know it's such a big industry in South Africa, but what kind of got you personally into, this space, and specifically, taking that really big step to actually, starting your own business?
Look, man, how it actually started was when you're a young kid and you see many wealthy and people that is doing well for themselves. They're wearing nice jewelry, and my main question always was, what is it to be behind the scenes to create that piece, to make that piece? How do we get to that piece? And how, in fact, I love jewelry from small, since I was a kid. So that actually also played a big role and a big part in where I am at right now. So basically I started 8 years back, started cutting and polishing based in Kimberley. Then we had a small crunch whereby I was learning only the skill part. So when it came time for me to start my business and go into business, then we had the COVID-19. And in 2019, that's actually when I started my business. But out of perseverance, man, and out of love for it, man, we made it happen actually right throughout the COVID time. And we actually, during the COVID time, that's when we established our name to the community, actually to the local, because our local market is such a close knit market that it's hard to introduce something new to them. So the only way you can introduce something new to such a market is by showing them what benefit can you bring to them, basically. And we started everything off small with basic repairs of jewelry pieces. So back then there was not really much happening, especially in the economy as well. So that's what we were offering to our clients. We were saying, you know what, all those old broken pieces that's laying at home, they don't need to be broken no more, man. Here's a jeweler here that will be able to do it for you within 24 to 48 hours. And that's how we started building our trust in the community. And it came down to whereby we needed to make something as well that plays a part in the community. So we have a community whereby motorsport is actually also a big thing. But because the economy does not allow them to showcase their skill and their talents, we have these small meetings and communal meetings whereby we'll have an event or a spin event whereby we invite all the other communities, come along, come have a look what we're doing. And at one of those events, that's when we said, you know what, we saved up a little bit because we want a marketing scheme that's going to work for the community. And we saved up a little bit and we're willing to give away a custom-made piece that belongs to Kimberley, to anyone of the people in the crowd. And that's how our name started growing actually locally.
That's very cool. So as you kind of stand right now, would you say most of your market that you're selling into is still local, or have you expanded into other markets as well?
At the moment it's still local, because
Mhm.
why, that's now where I'm not this okay, we now 5 years in operation as a company. So now this year we actually trying to aim to go out onto the international scale of markets as well, whereby we would like to introduce, there's so many pieces that we have on storage, but before we even bring it out, we would first like to have a special market in the international, or footprint in the international market, to say this is who we are and this is what we would like to bring to the market as well.
Right. And so what kind of markets are you thinking? Are you thinking like into the US? Are you thinking more Europe? What kind of international markets are you thinking about going after first?
Honestly speaking, when I was looking out, the US seemed to me like a bit of a tight and a difficult market to enter, because why, there's already established jewelers there.
Right.
Some of them are already aiming for the clientele that I'm aiming to go for, but not only because of the US being the US its own. I was actually aiming to see all these special places that your celebrities and your high-end people go to. They usually go on holiday, let's say, to the islands, to the Caribbean islands, and that's where I would have wanted to bring in my marketing into. I would have wanted to
Okay.
bring my marketing into all these smaller other nitty-gritty islands, whereby I could boost their economy by having myself there as well. Yeah.
So you're kind of looking into like setting up physical locations in the Caribbean islands, so kind of like into the US and like the US territorial market that way.
Yes,
That's
roundabout.
awesome.
If I can get that right, I would love to be around all the islands that's there for your vacation goers, your
Right.
and then later on, once I have enough stones, I can bring and I can introduce what we bring to our local market to the US's local market as well.
Right. So are you thinking, so it sounds like you're more like physical based now. Are you doing any online selling now? And, tell me a little bit about how that works if you are. And as you expand into other kind of markets internationally, are you looking to expand your online presence and would do more on like an e-com side maybe at all?
We are looking into that. We actually now at the moment setting up our full-on website, whereby we can actually offer that online store to our clients as well.
Awesome.
Because why? Like I said, for the first 4 years or 5 years, we just wanted to make sure that our local presence
Right.
has been felt. Yeah.
That's really important. I mean, all the people that are going to be having working with you still out of South Africa. I mean, it's good to have that like, that part of the backstory and that rapport in your community that, many times, is very problematic in the jewelry and diamond space. So I think it's really important that you went that route first. And I think that'll help in your, kind of public perception as you, go into other markets. So let me ask you, if we were to speak again, say 1 year from now, with all these plans that you have for getting into new markets and maybe establishing more of an e-com online brand as well, where do you see yourself about 1 year from today if we were to speak again?
About 1 year from today, honestly speaking, I see myself as serving at least one small international market. You understand?
That's great.
Just starting to break through into one small international market and just trying to get going from there. I always say that my company, it's not here for 2 years and then it will be gone. No, what we're trying to do is to keep it going. When I'm no more longer alive, I would like to have my grandkids or my great grandkids run the company the way I'm running it right now. And that's why we chose the name as well, Steenkamp LNJ Diamonds, so that it can be part of the family's name and tradition.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, when you think about penetrating into these other markets, I think thinking about the Caribbean could be a really good angle to start to get into the US market. And when you think about your online presence and selling online, have you done any of that at all? Like, have you taken any orders that you've like fulfilled through, e-commerce already yet? And how soon are you looking to get that ramped up? Or are you kind of more focused on getting into doing a physical store in an international market first and then kind of ramping up the e-commerce after that?
Okay, so what actually happened was we first thought that we're small enough just to serve for the locals, right? So what happened was we had one client from Gaborone, which is up north in Africa.
Right.
It's Botswana actually, where the beers is. And then we had one client from Namibia on the other side of Botswana. So I take it as international clients because why they're not part of South Africa, but they're
Right.
part of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we got to them was one of the clients, they were traveling through Cape Town back to Gaborone. So they made a pit stop in Kimberley because why they didn't have a jeweler that could resize the ring for them. They bought the ring in Cape Town, but they needed resizing to be done as soon as possible. So I think they put it up in the they searched it up and they found that we can do that. And when they were here, it was 3 hours. We resized the ring and they were back on the road back to Botswana. Sorry, the client from Namibia, we were lucky enough. Our husband plays rugby in South Africa. So what happened was by hearsay and by going through Instagram, they came about our page and we designed actually his ring and his wife's ring. So they actually compared us basically to Browns. So that's when we said, you know what? We actually big enough to take the big guys on, but we need to know where we step and how we step, because why we don't want to offend anybody, but we would like to say we are here, our presence are being felt, and give us a part of the pie, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. You're starting to think about international markets because I think if you were to do something, like kind of in the Caribbean, I think there'd be I think it'd be a great taste of, kind of two sects of the U.S. and the U.S. territorial market, which is, the native people in, the Caribbean islands that actually live there, but also get a taste of, some of the tourists that come there, as you say, as well. I think that'd be a great way to kind of get a gauge and just kind of gauge like interest and preference in that new market. I think that's actually a perfect place to do that. That's amazing. So one question I always love to ask everybody that comes on the pod, if you could go back 5 years when you first started the company, knowing everything that you know now, everything you learned, everything, that you had to overcome, if you could give one piece of advice to yourself starting the company, if you could go back in time, just one piece of advice, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, man, honestly speaking, patience, man. Patience, because while you have it all here, but to get it out into the universe is a bit tough. And, sometimes you just have to go through some trials to understand how it's being done properly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what plays a part of your patience. If you're not patient enough to go back and say, fair enough, this is the lesson. How am I going to achieve this lesson to be it needs to be a lesson that I have passed. I'm not sitting and I'm stuck on this lesson. And I think that's where many people get stuck and they don't give themselves enough patience to understand there's a few hurdles that you need to practice to get over, for when you do run, you do it perfectly.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, because especially in today's day and age, like, you be a young entrepreneur, you look online, you're on your Instagram, you're on your TikTok, all you see is like everybody acting like they're an overnight success, or they sold their business for $100 million and they're like 18 years old. That's all the kind of stuff you see. So then when you go and start a business and you're that confident in starting that business, you think that that's a possibility. You think there has to be some way to get there and get that fast exit or get that like overnight, viral video or something. But that's not really the case. Like 99% of the time, right? Like 99% of the time, the successful business owners do the everyday work. They're focused on the present. And you need patience to be able to do that. In a very impatient world we live in today, I think that's really good advice for any young entrepreneur or even a seasoned entrepreneur, maybe off on a new venture. I think that's really good advice. So if somebody wanted to, get in touch with you, keep tabs with the company, maybe, learns about you, is curious when you're going to come to the U.S. market, can you share some info about, any websites you could share, any socials you want people to know about?
Like I say, we haven't yet started our website page. What I would like them to do is, if they would love to follow us, we on Instagram and on Facebook. On Instagram, if they would like to put in an order, they're more than welcome to send us a DM.
Awesome.
And then we would finalize every nitty-gritty in that DM and see how we can fulfill that order towards the client. And if it comes down to a custom-made piece, we open to having a Zoom meeting. We open to having Teams meeting, online meeting, and understanding what the client wants, because that's what we usually do. We go in depth, and we had this one client. She wanted to do a wedding band for herself, but she wanted to do a gents band type of thing. And I was telling her, you know what, man, I can feel in this conversation that we're having, this is not really what you want, but this is just what you're having in mind, because why, that's what the others proposed to you. So I'm gonna go with what you wanting us to do, but I'm gonna do what I feel you really want. And when we sent her the design of what she really wanted, man, that woman was like, I never knew you could do this. And I was like, ma'am, we're here to do your piece. We're not here to give you a piece and sell it off to you and rub it off to you and make as if it's nice. I believe every piece goes with every person's personality, man.
That's amazing. Now, those are the kinds of things that keep you coming back. We wake up in the morning, right? That's so awesome to be able to like use your expertise to help somebody and guide somebody into something that's like even a better experience than just giving somebody what they asked for. To be able to impart your wisdom and knowledge, be able to say, okay, let's take your idea, let's make it a little bit better, and then we'll do it, and then we'll both be happier, right? So that's amazing. I love that story. So just curious, last question. You know, if somebody hears this, you know, they're interested in you, they're interested in the business, wondering, when they might be able to, see you go public or kind of like online, short of, meeting with you for a custom piece. What's your kind of timeline looking like for, getting online and doing like international sales that way? I know it's probably hard to gauge an exact time, but tentatively, is this like a, next 6 months kind of venture, a year from now? What do you kind of think of timeline on that front?
We're actually hoping to have the website up at the end of this month to next week. To next week, and then the e-commerce or the online store itself, we would like to push it for June, July.
Amazing. And will you be able to ship across the globe once you have the e-commerce store going?
Yes.
Amazing. That's great. I
So
think people listening to this, they might be very curious to know that. So that it's happening soon. That's amazing.
So we'll be using Brilliance. So they'll be shipping all over the world for us. Yeah.
What is it called? Say it again. Sorry.
Brilliance. They usually do investment pieces, jewelry pieces, loose diamonds. So they're the go-to guys to do that for us. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Leonardo, I really appreciate you coming on with us today. It's another really great episode. I think people are really going to listen to our conversation here today. So I wish you continued success. I'll definitely be in touch with you. I'll make sure I connect with you on LinkedIn, and I'll be in touch with you down the line. I just want to say thank you again, and we'll talk soon, okay?
No problem, Effie. Thank you so much, man, for inviting me over onto this, man. I'm sure this will also bring one foot closer to the markets that we would like to aim to get to. And like I say to whoever's listening to this, man, like just give us a touch, give us a shout, just let us give you an invoice or an quotation so that you can just see what you'll be paying for it. Usually it's not about the paying, but it's putting value behind something, and we're the manufacturer. So usually at the end of the day, you'll be getting it from the retail just a bit more expensive than what you'll be getting it from us.
That's awesome, man. I love it. All right, Leonardo, thank you again. I will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you. If you have a good time, bro.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks,
you too.
man.